Expense recognition is based on matching principle, whereby expenses to generate revenue are recognized in the same period as the revenue. Inventory provides a good example. In the example of the shoe retailer, say the company uses $1,000 cash to buy 10 shoes from a manufacturer. Cash goes down by $1,000 in the balance sheet and inventory goes up by $1,000. No revenue or expense is recorded at this point. When the 10 shoes are sold for $3,000 on credit, the company records a sales revenue of $3,000. Using the matching principle, the expense, which is the cost of goods sold, has to be recognized in the same period. So an expense of $1,000 is recognized in the income statement. In the balance sheet, inventory is reduced by $1,000 and accrued revenue is increased by $3,000. The company earns a gross income of $2,000. So in summary, the shoe retailer reports an increase of $3,000 in revenue and an increase in $1,000 in cost of goods sold for this sale in this period. The increase in gross income for this period is $2,000. Inventory expense recognition can be more complicated than this. Let's say the retailer already has a balanced stock of 4 shoes which were acquired at $80 each. She later acquires 10 additional shoes at $100 each, so the total inventory is 14 shoes with a total cost of $1,320. If 10 shoes from the inventory were sold during this period, how should we account for the cost of goods sold? If a firm can identify exactly which items were sold and which items remain in inventory, it can use the specific identification method. In this case, if the company tracks by serial number the shoes that were sold, we just simply add up the specific costs of the shoes that were sold. Adding up the costs of these 10 shoes, we have a cost of goods sold of $960, which is expensed. The cost of the remaining inventory adds up to $360. This, however, is unlikely the case for low-price goods like shoes. Under the first-in, first-out method, the first item purchased is assumed to be the first item sold. In this case, the oldest 4 shoes are considered sold, and the remaining 6 come from the later batch. Adding up their costs, the cost of goods sold total to $920, and the ending inventory is $400. Fifo is appropriate for perishable inventory that has a limited shelf life. Under the last-in, first-out method, the last item purchased is assumed to be the first item sold. In this case, the latest 10 shoes acquired are considered sold. Adding up their costs, the cost of goods sold total to $1,000, and the ending inventory is $320. LIFO is appropriate for inventory that does not deteriorate with age. Note that LIFO is prohibited under IFRS. The weighted average cost method makes no assumption about the physical flow of the inventory. It is popular because of its ease of use. The cost per unit is calculated by dividing cost of available goods by total units available, and this average cost is used to determine both cost of goods sold and ending inventory. In this case, the average unit cost is $94.30. Multiply this by 10, we have a cost of goods sold of $943. The ending inventory is therefore $377.
You're watching an excerpt from our comprehensive animation library. For more videos like these, head on down to prepnuggets.com. At Prep Nuggets, let us do the hard work for you.